Inside PressBox is presented by Freedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Freedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs. And welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox. I'm your host, Stan the Fan Charles. This week on the show, we reflect back on the Hall of Fame career of Orioles great Eddie Murray. Inside PressBox reporter Derek Watte was at the ballpark last weekend and caught up with some longtime Orioles faithful to recount some of their fondest memories of number 33. And I'll have a commentary to end tonight's show that looks back at the years Baltimore spent without Eddie. But joining me first is the man who penned this month's PressBox cover story, which just hit the streets this past week. Simon Habtemariam is here to talk about Towson athletics and the prospects for Tigers 2012 football. Simon, we welcome you to the show, and while we have you on to talk about that, on the cover of the paper, as people will see, is athletic director Mike Waddell and Rob Ambrose. And the story is a little bit about what came first, the chicken or the egg, the AD that's leading the charge or the football coach. But other than football for a second, and we'll get back to that in the second part of the interview, what do you see as the biggest difference, and it's touched on in the story, but what do you see the biggest difference that Mike Waddell has brought to the mentality of Towson athletics?
It's sort of been this huge push to break through the Towson potential that everybody saw.
The sleeping giant.
Exactly.
Awaken the sleeping giant.
For years, they were able to sort of produce a mediocre product based off of potential alone without really executing at the full extent of what they could become. Mike Waddell comes in and he sees flashes. He sees it established in the football program that Rob Ambrose is trying to build, and sort of gives him the energy needed to ignite the powder keg that Rob was trying to do before. When Rob came into this program, you sort of saw him trying to just begging, scratching, pleading for something more to come out of this program, but not even just the football program, the school itself.
The fan support, the student support, the advertising,
the financial
fundraising,
support.
Yeah.
So Mike comes in and he's sort of the hammer that drives through and sort of breaks into this well of potential that Towson had sort of cruised by on for years.
Would you say, though, that it's fair to say with the resume that Mike Waddell had when he took this job, replacing Mike Herman, who had replaced, I can't remember his name, Mike Edwards.
Yes.
What's Edwards' first name? God, I can't think of it. Anyway.
There's three athletic directors in 6 years.
Three athletic directors in 6 years, but the point is, he wouldn't have taken this Towson job had he not seen that potential.
Exactly, and coming from his position at Cincinnati, he was
Wayne Edwards. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Coming from Mike's position in Cincinnati, where he was where he was sort of at the helm of external affairs. He's a storyteller. He's a marketer. He used to be a broadcaster. He's the type that sees a brand, sees the potential and stuff, and tries to convey that to others.
It's almost like a little bit like Brian Billick. Some would say he's not the greatest X's and O's coach, but he was the force of nature that made the Ravens what they were a little bit.
And you heard the second he got in there, his commitment to the Towson brand. The Towson brand was probably said about 100 times within his first 100 days there, where he was trying to take this image of Towson that everybody saw and show them what it is behind the scenes, what Towson could be and what now Towson has become.
The football program is one aspect of that, and we are going to talk about that. What is the new Towson Center? What's it going to be called? The Tiger?
Well, right now it's penned as the Tiger Arena, but that's before any sort of naming rights have gone out for the court or for the arena itself.
What will that do to Towson athletics when it opens? What's it due to open next fall?
Yes.
2013, the fall of 2013.
It's another one of those symbols almost, kind of in that same storyline that Mike Waddell's been following of this is the type of Towson, this is the type of product Towson can be. They don't have to be the 100-year-old dingy Towson Center that is now. It doesn't have to be the facilities that have been there. They don't have to sort of cruise at the same level that they always have. That they have to expect that they can be better what they are. That they have to sort of see in themselves what they can contribute to make a difference, to improve the program, to improve the athletics department as a whole.
One thing before we take the break and then come back and talk more specifically football. Mike Waddell was hired by President Corrette, right? Bob Corrette.
Yes.
And the new president, the woman, what's her full name is?
Marvin Loschke.
Loschke. Tell me a little bit about, Mike didn't seem to miss a beat in between that. Some people that are hired by person A, if person A leaves right away, some of their vision might be sort of stunted with a new person to the helm, but he sort of never missed a beat, Mike.
And again, that's kind of his persona. As thorough and as driven and as ambitious of a person he is, as long as there are people around him that are able to communicate on a higher level, on a progressive level that he's on, then he's sort of able to operate with them and continue moving forward. And when the beacon of leadership in your program is moving forward, that kind of makes it easier for everybody else to find something to buy in on because everybody's eyes are looking up.
All right. He's Simon Habtemariam. And Simon, Towson graduate, and by the way, congratulations on your nuptials. You just got married a couple weeks back.
Yep.
When we return with Simon Habtemariam, we are going to zero in on the Towson Tiger football team and their prospects for 2012. I'll continue with Simon Habtemariam right after this break, so don't go away. Go to PressBoxOnline.com and register a youth team in your community for a chance to be highlighted as the PressBox Youth Team of the Month. Sponsored by Sports Authority. Go to PressBoxOnline.com for all the details.